Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order this conference committee on House File 4247. So the first thing we need to do to begin the discussion is I'm going to move to adopt the DE, which is coded A240353, and that should bring it before the committee so that we can discuss it. So the next thing I think we would like to do is ask nonpartisan staff to walk through the bill and just quickly and let us know what is in the DE. So, Ms. Sunderman.
Madam Chair, members, Sarah Sunderman from House Research. For a very quick overview, Article 1 authorizes transfer care specialists registered with the Department of Health to move and transport dead human bodies from the place of death to a licensed funeral establishment. Article 2 is behavioral analyst licensure, establishes licensure for behavioral analysts to practice applied behavior analysis, establishes an advisory council, and specifies fees and specifies fees. Article 3 is the Board of Veterinary Medicine. It establishes licensure for veterinary technicians, makes related changes, and modifies institutional licensure requirements for any person who is not eligible for a regular vet license who seeks to practice veterinary medicine while employed by the University of Minnesota. Article 4 is the Board of Dentistry. It allows specialty dentists who hold general dental licenses to practice general dentistry outside of their designated specialty area and modifies a requirement for dental assistant licensure by credential. Article 5 is physician assistant practice. This repeals one subdivision which contains collaborative practice agreement requirements for PAs to provide ongoing psychiatric treatment. Article 6 is the Board of Social Work. It reorganizes and modifies sections of statute governing the Board of Social Work, provisional licensure, modifying requirements for eligibility, disciplinary action, and supervision, and has a revised instruction to reorganize. Article 7 is the Board of Marriage and Family Therapy. It establishes time-limited guest licensure for the board for eligible non-residents who wish to temporarily practice in Minnesota without being licensed by the board. Article 8 is the Board of Optometry. It modifies optometrists' authority to prescribe certain oral medications. Article 9 establishes the licensure of speech-language pathology assistants effective July 1, 2025. And then Articles 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 are all interstate licensure compacts for physician assistants, occupational therapists, physical therapists, licensed professional counselors, audiology and speech-language pathologists, dentists and dental hygienists, and social work services. And Article 17 is the appropriations article. And that concludes the walkthrough.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Sunderman. I just want to say I guess we're hearing that we might be under call, so there's some possibility that members in the House might be called away. So just we'll try to get as far as we can here. So having had that quick run-through of the bill, I guess I would ask if members have any questions. Or we do have a spreadsheet here in front of us, and just to note that all of the appropriations in the bill are special revenue. And certainly we have fiscal staff here if anyone has questions about the spreadsheet. But is there any, do members have any questions or discussion about the DE that's before us? Senator Utke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My only question would be, being we're just showing up now to see what was done, there are some pieces that are missing from what passed off the Senate floor, and I was just wondering if somebody could go over the reasons why. And we had the section related to midwife. There's international medical graduates section, the acupuncture, and the assisted behavioral analyst. Could we get a little background on those?
Okay, I'll do that, Senator Utke. I mean, we want to do it pretty quickly here, but obviously this is a negotiation between the House and Senate, and I would just say, generally speaking, that when you negotiate, you don't get everything you ask for usually. There were some provisions that the House did not bring into conference. There are various reasons for that. And I don't know if I need to go through them in detail. We didn't hear all of the provisions that the Senate heard, and there are differences of opinion. But I would just say, I would just note on the behavioral analyst that the Senate position had the behavioral analyst and behavioral analyst assistants to be licensed for the first time. The House only had the behavioral analysts, and the Board of Psychology, which is the board that's going to host them, preferred that we only do the behavioral analysts right away, just to get started. And so that was the agreement on that. But of course, you know, another year after that first group gets started, I think there would be an opportunity if there's a need to, you know, people can come back and see about licensing the other group. So, you know, that's what I would say about that. So, Senator Rutke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just bring it up because, of course, we didn't have a conference committee. You know, none of us were involved with the discussion, so that gives me a little brief overview, and I thank you for that.
Thank you, Senator Rutke. All right, any other, and you know what, I don't think I announced that there is a quorum present. That's kind of important. I will announce that, and also for members to be aware that Representative Carroll is with us remotely, so he's part of the House, he's one of the House conferees as well.
Hey, Madam Chair, let me just say thank you for allowing me to attend remotely.
Oh, thank you. Representative Carroll, I'm kind of like, where's that voice coming from?
That hoarse voice. Sorry, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so with that, okay.
So important numbers.
Okay, okay, so, right. Senator Wiklund.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess what I would like to do is to make the motion to adopt the language in the DE amendment, the A24-0353. And that's my motion.
All right, thank you, Chair Wiklund. Is there any discussion to the motion? I think we'll do that.
Madam Chair,
Representative Carroll.
thank you. I do have a concern about one word, and it's an adjective, on line 41.330. It's regarding optometry, and my motion would be to eliminate the word invasive in front of surgery. It seems to be a superfluous word. Surgery, I think, necessarily is invasive, so I don't know what the purpose of that, putting that adjective there is.
So Representative Carroll, we kind of got beyond that. I think Senator Wiklund would have to withdraw her motion because right now we're on the motion to adopt the language. Senator Wiklund, do you want to? Should I withdraw? If you wish.
Madam Chair, I'll withdraw the motion. I didn't realize that anyone had any other, any statements to make, so I'll withdraw the motion.
Okay, so we're back on discussion of the DE amendment. So Representative Carroll is making was moving an oral amendment to strike that word. And so any discussion to that amendment? Senator Bolden.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have a question, I think, for the chairs about that. My understanding is that this language comes from a fair bit of negotiation from different stakeholders, and I'm wondering if how this change would be interpreted by those many stakeholders and that careful negotiation.
Yeah, Senator Wiklund.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, this has been a point of discussion that we've had over several months. We have the hearings on the bill, or hearing on the bill in March, or I don't remember now if it's February or March, quite a while ago, and discussions have continued about the language in this particular article. And really, this was discussed and negotiated with members of the Health and Human Services Committee. Several members worked on discussing this, and we came to the conclusion that the language that is appearing in the omnibus is what we feel is best to move forward with this session. It doesn't preclude work to go on in the future, but it is something that we came to an agreement on as being appropriate to move forward with this session.
Senator Rutke, did you wish to speak?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And my question was going to be somewhat along those same lines, and it's just the fact that this isn't new language. This is language that's been in statute. It's been agreed upon over the years, and so I don't think adjusting it at this point is a good deal. Thank
you. And Representative Nadeau?
And thank you, Madam Chair. And I agree completely. This is a service that they already provide, and striking this would kick their scope of practice backwards. So we definitely don't want to do that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And I would just also say, members, that I think Senator Bolden is absolutely correct. This is a negotiated agreement. And so I do not support the amendment, but the amendment's been made. So we will need to vote on the amendment. Does anyone else wish to speak? So the amendment again was to strike that word invasive. Let's see, how do we do this? We have to call the roll? No? We don't. We don't.
Madam Chair, our protocol in the Senate is that when people vote on, if they're remote, they can turn on their camera if possible, and then they can vote with, as usual.
Okay, so let's see.
If it's not possible, then that's okay.
Yeah, Representative Carroll, are you able to turn your camera on?
I am, but the lighting where I wouldn't be visible. Sorry.
Okay.
But as long as you can hear me.
Yeah.
And you know my voice.
We certainly can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so restating the motion, I think everyone understands the motion is to strike that word invasive, and we're talking about in the optometry section of the bill. So all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. So the motion does not, the motion does not prevail. And the amendment is not adopted. Okay, so I think Senator Wiklund.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will restate my motion is to adopt the language in the DE amendment, the A24-0353, and to direct nonpartisan staff to create a conference committee report using the DE language and direct nonpartisan staff to make technical changes as needed to reflect the intent of the conference committee.
All right, thank you very much. Is there any discussion to that motion? All right, seeing none, all in favor of Senator Wiklund's motion to adopt the language in the DE amendment, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? The motion prevails and the amendment is adopted. So with that, I think that's all we need to do. Nonpartisan staff, is there anything else that you would recommend that we do? All right, so we managed, and just thank you, everyone, for your hard work. And yes, please, Senator Wiklund.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make a comment that I really appreciate all of the work that went into this. I think this conference committee report reflects many hours of work during this session, and many hours and years of work by some of these organizations to come together and come forward with their proposals. And I appreciate that we were able to hear and vet these proposals this year and bring forward this substantial body of work to bring to the legislatures, or bring to both of our bodies now.
Thank you so much, Senator Wiklund, and I echo that. And yeah, there's, as our speaker likes to say, it is kind of the season of disappointment, but I think we can be very proud of a lot of the provisions in this bill that are going to be helpful to lots and lots of people. and do represent, and also represent a lot of compromise as well, which of course we know is completely necessary, because in this legislature, in any legislative body, we cannot get anywhere unless we're willing to compromise. And so really appreciate everyone's effort and work, and the struggle always continues in the next legislature as well, right? So, all right, so with that, I think, unless there are other comments, I think we can adjourn. So we stand adjourned. Thank you.